Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for April 2016. The sun's in your opposite sign, Aries, for much of this month, but here's some astro notes for the month ahead. Until the 12th, we got Uranus and Pluto going over the sun, so there can be some transition going on, some little bit of inner turbulence at times, but also there's volatility, there's elements of surprise around you. Because it's maybe an environment or conditions or events that you're not used to, and that's up until the 12th. But it's a bit like that all month, I have to say, because we have a new moon on April the 7th in Aries conjunct Uranus. So that will be unfolding that rather volatile energy of the winds of change, which is quite progressive. Don't mistake this. It can be a bit choppy, but it's progressive, and it can ultimately be to your advantage. However, it needs handling, and it needs you to be flexible. We have the new moon unpackaging itself over the subsequent month, but also that new moon is in aspect to Uranus, Pluto, and a very supportive aspect coming in from Saturn. Saturn is currently in a long transit in a good positive aspect to your Sun. So that's a very good steadying influence. It's like having lee boards, on the side of the boat in a kind of a choppy sea, or a really deep keel. So yes, you're going through headwinds and weather where you are having to be adaptable and adjust to the situation. However, you've got this deep keel. And you've got this, or you've got these sort of, stabilizers, or stabilizers on a bike or something like that. So you see what I mean? So you're learning how to ride this bike, but you've got these stabilizers on to help you. So that looks okay, but it's significant for the cardinal signs because, of course, this is in your opposite sign, this new moon, and it will influence you Librans, also Cancerians and Capricorn as well. But also, if you've got anything, if you happen to know whether you've got a planet or an important point within about 15 to 23 degrees, then that could be affecting that planet according to what you know about it and where it is. In your natal chart, I mean. So the idea here is to go with the flow, be flexible, expect the unexpected, be experimental, because this is a vibe which is helping you to maybe even to liberate you, actually, in a way, and to progress you. There's a very progressive trend. And now you want to be progressing in the right direction, but I think that this heavy keel you've got and these buoyancy boards you've got are going to help you to keep into control of the situation, and you can be successful in the future. It's a very future-orientated vibration, this. Now, also, what we've got going on, and this is not just for your sign, it's for all of the signs, but this is relating it to your sign, is there's Mars close to Neptune by degree. Mars is in Sagittarius, so that's a really good angle to your sun sign, Libra, and you Libra risings, and you moon Libras. But also we have Jupiter opposite Neptune as well. This is bringing the air of uncertainty, the cloud of unknowing, for all of the signs, actually, during April. I mean, where is the truth? What is going on? Where is that information I don't have? What is being hidden? Do I cut back? Do I expand? Who do I go with on this one? All that glitters isn't gold. Is someone trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes? That kind of a feeling could be overwhelming your mind at times. Having said that, though, there is that steadying quality coming from Saturn, and also even with Jupiter, idealistic Jupiter opposite dreamy Neptune. As long as you separate the ideal from the real and keep with the real, but don't be too much of a cynic either, because a healthy bit of the dream of how you like it to be is okay, as long as you can see how it works or how it could work. Don't believe somebody else's take on it, how they're going to make it all right for you, because they never do, really. You've got to make it right for yourself, so you've got to choose, if you have to choose, somebody that's going to help you to make it right. You know, if it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it must be a duck, sort of thing. But we do have, with Jupiter and Neptune, a strong angle to Saturn anyway, bringing in that stability again. So overall, this is the time for cautious optimism, not getting too cocky, not getting too complacent at all. No, not at all. This is not the time for consolidation. This is not the time to feel settled about something. This is the time to feel undecided, really. This is the time to not know which way it's going to go, really. This is the time to hope. This is the time to hold that vision tight of how you want it to be and move towards the future. Like a hunter tracking his prey, her prey, their prey. Just watch it, and until you get maybe it's not a hunter. Maybe it's a naturalist or a bot or somebody collecting butterflies or so. Oh no, that wouldn't be good. No, they pin them, don't they, to a board. Well, anyway, you know what I mean. You have to get to know which way the wind's blowing, what the behavior pattern is, before you can really kind of net it, you know, really grasp it and say, okay, I feel confident to go this way with this now, or I feel confident I have my confidence in this person here. You see, because it's just, you know, it's not going to happen in April, I don't think. There is an energy which makes one feel very restless in April as well. It's like, oh, I want to do it now. But then looking back after April, you might think, oh, pity I didn't wait a bit. That kind of thing. Right, late month, transiting Uranus and transiting Pluto are connecting with transiting Venus. For you, that is very important because Venus is your ruling planet. This is in your relationship area. So that can be not disturbing in a major way at all. But it can make you think. It could also make you feel very, very strongly connected to somebody for some reason. You might not, it might be mysterious. It might be quite sizzly as well. It might be, but it's more than casual, right? It has that feeling about it. But also here you have to remain flexible and adaptable to somebody else's timetable, scheme, idea, behavior, approach, whatever it is. But overall, it is a progressive phase. It's just not the time to come into the harbour or come down onto the landing field. You're in this, like, you're learning, you're growing, you're progressing, but you haven't got there yet because you don't quite know which part of the landing field you've got to go on or the harbour you've got to go into, you see. That's sort of my kind of rather lame sort of kind of analogy. Now, what else is going on? Okay, so until the 20th, it's getting difficult to see here. Until the 20th, we've got the Sun in your opposite sign, so very much not a time to be going it alone, very much teamwork time, cooperating with others cooperating with you. Time very much bouncing ideas around, having conversations, but having discussions, and you getting the information you need, but others getting whatever information they need from you. And then Mercury then moves out of there on the 6th and then goes into an area which is about research. It's about planning, strategies. It's about getting to the nitty-gritty on things, weighing things up, using your instinct more, Libra, during that there, and mapping stuff out. Yeah. Now, Venus is in a very practical mood up until the 6th, sort of the to-do list, teamwork with that, very much maintenance-orientated, repairs, teamwork, and spreading the load, sharing the load with another, whether that's to do with work or health matters, yours or another. And then Venus moves on the 6th into a very strong place for her. This is affairs of the heart, this is partnerships, this is relationships of all kinds, close relationships, I should say. You feeling a closer rapport, you feeling a warmth there, you feeling a support there, or another, you are supporting another feeling the warmth from you. And some of you, this could be quite a romantic time as well, but enjoying somebody else's company very much so from there. Mars for the whole month is in a long transit until late May in your solar communications area, you making new contacts, you networking, you connecting the dots with information, you sourcing information, you being on quite a learning curve. So it's educational, this position of Mars here, and it's also a very good area for you to come on in a very sort of confident, assertive kind of way with whatever or whoever, but obviously appropriately, not inappropriately, and beyond April as well. Now over April, as I've said, particularly the first half of the month, not so much the second half of the month, there is this I'm not quite sure of how it's all fitting here at the moment for me to be able to make that, come to that conclusion, find that resolution, make that decision, okay? But the second half of the month is a little bit less so like that. And then after, then in May it's clearer, things are clearer. So anyway, this longer transit of Mars in here, this is better to be impatient. It's better to be measured and not impatient in your approach to others, and not precipitate in your action, not jumping the gun, keeping the powder dry maybe, because Saturn's in there as well, and in general there could be more correspondence, more paperwork type situations that you having to deal with as well. The Sun moves into an area to do with transition, to do with just slowly feeling your way from one sort of set of circumstances towards another set of circumstances, feeling your way into another sort of level of experiencing a different section of road, really. Saturn is in a very positive angle to your sun sign until late 2016, and this is the time for you to work consistently at educational things, at short distance travel, at schedules and deadlines, where you're using your mind, but also maybe you are doing these short distances, maybe it's like a commute of some kind, or maybe you do the same thing over and over and over again, because there's a lot of repetition usually with Saturn. Maybe you're writing something, maybe you're, this is the area of creative self-expression, but you've got to be regular, dogged, keep at it. You Librans born the 6th to the 10th of October, or with 14 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that the most. Then we've got Jupiter in the sign before yours until September, so you're in the chrysalis phase. You're developing like the butterfly in the chrysalis. And it's a good time for developing things quietly in the wings, backstage, also tying up loose ends from the past. Understanding yourself better and what makes, what pushes your buttons, that's a biggie for Jupiter here. Doing therapeutic, nurturing things for yourself, but also being very much the one that pulls strings from behind the scenes, or indeed is there sort of almost like anonymously supporting and holding and carrying for others. So being far more the servant during this section here of the transit of Jupiter, and learning a lot from it, learning that what you thought was best for X, Y, Z wasn't best for them at all. So learning what they really do need from you, and maybe you don't have to be a superhuman or a martyr. Maybe it was quite easy. And you you Librans born the 4th to the 9th of October, or with 12 to 16 degrees rising, going to feel that the most. And then for you Librans, Uranus in your opposite sign, lots of changes affecting your life because of a partner or an opposite number, or people that you are unusual and unconventional, that you connect with one-to-one. You Librans born the 12th to the 16th of October, excuse me, all with 19 to 23 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. And of course, there is also the new moon. And then Pluto, you Librans born the 9th to the 11th of October with 17 to 18 degrees rising. You're going to feel the energy of Pluto in Capricorn the most, which is right down at the root of your chart. Maybe that feeling of lots of change going on at the roots of your life to do with location, place on the map, where you live, the neighborhood you're in, and sometimes quite a plutonic feeling of like this undertow of maybe the deep past coming into the present, or you're having to deal with things from not necessarily your past, but maybe even your location's past, and getting in your way somehow or other, or making you realize that there is more going on here than meets the eye, sort of thing. And you learning from that, and you taking that rich experience, because what are we here to do? We're here to experience, and that's it. So that's it for April. On that note, that's it for April. And if you want to check anything else, this is all written up on DianaGarland.com. Also, if you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those, and I'll see you the next time.